want to become a pro at your boundaries, I'm going to give you a simple, quick tip that defines 2 boundaries really simply that's going to really change your relationships. Hi, my name is Olivia, and I am passionate about helping you understand what relational trauma is so that you can prevent it, overcome it, heal, and move on with your life. So everything today is coming from my book, The Relationship Trust Boundary Model. Simple to learn, easy to use model that is a game changer and will make you a master of boundaries. So today we're going to talk about the 2 boundaries that the model uses. You have physical boundaries and you have emotional boundaries. You really have lots of boundaries, but in relationships, for the purposes of holding boundaries with another person, learning these 2 simple boundaries can be life-changing. Not only that, it can get you out of a narcissistic relationship. It can help you stop to be the family scapegoat. It can help you to really cut down and weed through people who do not have good intentions for you and for your life. Takes the guilt out of it. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the physical boundary. So in the model, in the book, sorry, it's a plugin. Anyways, behind me keeps clicking. It's kind of bugging me. Okay, so in the model, it talks about something called a physical boundary. So with the physical boundary, just think in terms of proximity, which just means how close something is to you versus how far away something is to you. So right now, my sweet boy Kuma is right by me, and then over there, I have a big bookcase. So right now, approximately, Kuma is much closer to me than the bookcase. So when you're thinking in terms of physical boundaries, it's just how close someone gets to you physically versus how far away someone is to you physically. So that's the physical boundary. The next boundary is the emotional boundary. The emotional boundary in the book, which again, I will put a QR code on the screen, and I'll put the link for the course and also the book in the description, so you could get the book if you'd like to. In there, it talks about the emotional boundary, and that is just how much or the extent to which you emote with someone. If you're emoting with someone, you are telling them what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So a lot of your thoughts, what are you worried about? What are you hoping for? What is your greatest fears, greatest traumas, how you're feeling in this moment, how you felt when this thing happened to you. The more of that you are sharing coming out of your mouth and telling another person, you're having very little emotional boundaries and you're emoting at a great extent with them. But if you're really not saying what's on your mind, you're really not sharing your past, you're really not telling what you're thinking and feeling in this moment, you're not letting someone into your private, innermost, deepest, darkest secrets or greatest wishes and dreams, you're not giving any of that up, you're having very strong emotional boundaries and you're not emoting to a great extent. So when someone has earned the most trust with you, they get to be the closest to you. So those who have built a lot of trust with you physically will get to be closer to you than someone who has not. And also emotionally, they're going to be able to get closer to you than someone who has not. Some of us have this totally backwards. We have maybe a stranger who gets just as much of us emotionally and or physically as we give to our best friend or to our partner. This would be not good boundaries. This would be incorrect with our boundaries. It could even be dangerous boundaries. So we really want to make sure that those who get the most from us, and that is emotionally and physically, right, have built the most trust with us. So a stranger would get very little of my private thoughts and feelings. And also they wouldn't get to physically be super close to me. There are exceptions to the rule, like if you go see a surgeon, the very first time you meet that surgeon, they could be performing the procedure. And so in that case, that is a stranger who's getting very close to you, but they're governed by a board to make sure they're a trustworthy person. They have someone overseeing them to make sure they don't take advantage of you and abuse you and betray you, right? But people walking around, they're not governed by a board who's checking on them, who has vetted them, who they have to report to. They're just a person that is living life, and now you are going across their, you're crossing their doorstep or you're crossing their path. So this is where with dating, it's very important that your first few dates, you're not giving up a lot of your information. You're not telling them about your traumatic divorce and your childhood and your greatest dreams and wishes and hopes. You would talk more about something that you value to see if they also value something, and you can talk about a shared value system, but maybe not get into the depths of why you value that. So what you're looking for is something in common to talk about to see if there's a reason to keep trying to get to know each other. But again, I'm not going to let you in until you show me you're trustworthy. So I will leave a card to the video prior that talks about the 8 traits of a trustworthy person. If you see those traits in someone, you can give them more trust slowly over time. And if you see none of those traits, or you see the opposite, you would maybe just end it or not have them close to you at all. So again, you can find all of this and more in the Relationship Trust Boundary Model. The link will be in the description for the course and the book. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next one.